Welcome to a home where simplicity becomes a statement, and elegance flows through every line. Today, we explore a breathtaking minimalist luxury house that redefines sophistication through subtlety. Every detail, every contour, and every beam of light tells a story of refined taste and timeless beauty. This is architecture as pure poetry. Minimalism is not about less for the sake of less. It's about achieving more meaning through restraint. The beauty of this home lies in its deliberate choices. Clean lines, open volumes, and serene balance. Each design decision was made to enhance harmony, not extravagance. It's modern living stripped to its essential perfection. The house is positioned to embrace its natural surroundings. Expansive glass walls dissolve the boundary between indoor comfort and outdoor serenity. Sunlight, wind, and greenery all become living elements of the design. This deep connection with nature transforms daily life into a tranquil experience of harmony and awareness. As you approach the entryway, the home reveals its quiet power. A simple yet commanding facade greets you. Linear forms, natural textures, and subtle tones working in perfect unity. There's no need for grand gestures here. The first impression is one of calm confidence and architectural grace. Luxury in this home comes not from gold or marble excess, but from the warmth of organic materials. Stone, oak, and textured concrete intertwine to create a palette that feels both grounded and inviting. The tactile richness of each surface brings life to the simplicity of form. Every space in this house flows effortlessly into the next. The open-plan living, dining, and kitchen areas embody the minimalist principle of fluid movement. Furniture placement, lighting design, and sightlines are carefully aligned, creating an atmosphere where space itself feels alive and breathing. The living area showcases minimalist luxury at its finest. A low-profile sofa, sculptural lighting, and large panoramic windows turn simplicity into art. Here, comfort meets contemplation, an environment where design disappears, leaving only the experience of pure stillness and spatial beauty. Light is not an afterthought in this home. It is an essential material. Skylights, narrow slits, and floor-to-ceiling glass panels choreograph the play of natural illumination throughout the day. As the sun moves, the house transforms, its lines, shadows, and surfaces composing a dynamic visual symphony. Soft whites, muted grays, and natural beiges dominate the interior palette. This restrained color scheme enhances the sense of tranquility and makes architectural lines stand out. Every hue feels deliberate, chosen not for attention but for balance, emphasizing texture, proportion, and light. Minimalist kitchens often hide complexity behind clarity, and this one is no exception. Sleek cabinetry conceals appliances, while a single sculpted island commands attention as both workspace and art piece. The kitchen becomes not just a place to cook, but a central expression of minimalist lifestyle refinement. The dining area blends social warmth with architectural poise. A long wooden table, illuminated by a linear pendant, encourages intimate gatherings without distraction. The surrounding openness and simplicity allow every conversation, every shared moment, to become the true centerpiece of the space. Moving into the private quarters, the design language remains consistent, peaceful, clean, and deeply human. Bedrooms are retreats of clarity, with uncluttered furnishings and natural textures that invite calm. The absence of excess creates emotional space, letting you breathe freely and rest fully. The master bedroom feels like a private spa retreat. Minimalist design principles blend with soft luxury, tactile linens, warm timber flooring, and ambient lighting. Every detail serves a purpose: to create a cocoon of serenity where beauty and function coexist in perfect balance. The bathroom exemplifies quiet indulgence. Freestanding tub, concealed lighting, and seamless surfaces merge to evoke a spa-like atmosphere. The focus is on mood, not ornamentation. The way light dances on water, or how a single texture shift can define an entire experience. Every architectural line in this home feels intentional. Angles, voids, and alignments are composed like visual poetry. The architect's mastery lies in creating rhythm through geometry, balancing form and function until they become indistinguishable. Beauty here truly exists in every line. Repetition creates calm. The repeated use of linear motifs, in ceilings, screens, and facades, builds a visual rhythm that soothes the eye. It's a silent music of architecture, transforming structure into harmony. Each repetition deepens the viewer's emotional connection to the space. Smart home systems are seamlessly embedded into the architecture. Lighting, climate, and security controlled invisibly. The goal is to enhance comfort without compromising aesthetic purity. Technology disappears into the background, allowing the architecture to remain the primary language of luxury. Minimalism continues outside, where open terraces and reflecting pools extend the indoor experience. The transition from inside to outside feels effortless, with materials and lines remaining consistent. Every outdoor space becomes an invitation to slow down and reconnect with the natural world. A tranquil reflecting pool runs along the main facade, mirroring the geometry of the house. The play between still water and solid structure enhances the sense of serenity. It's a reminder that in minimalist luxury, beauty often emerges not from what is added, but from what is perfectly balanced. Each window in the home is placed like a frame, capturing nature as living art. Whether it's a view of trees, sky, or distant horizon, the architecture curates the landscape. The result is an ever-changing gallery of moments, seen through lines designed to inspire stillness. Minimalist design thrives on perfect proportion. Every wall height, corridor width, and furniture placement is measured with precision. These subtle relationships define emotional balance. When proportion feels right, space feels right. And this house masters that invisible art with graceful ease. Even sound is considered here. Soft materials and thoughtful layouts ensure that silence dominates the home's atmosphere. It's a kind of luxury rarely discussed, the sound of calm, where the absence of noise becomes the truest expression of minimalist comfort. Functionality hides in plain sight. Storage walls, recessed handles, and concealed compartments keep spaces visually clean. This invisible architecture allows the form to breathe, demonstrating that minimalism isn't about sacrifice, but about living intelligently with clarity and purpose. This house isn't just designed, it's lived. It encourages mindful living, appreciation for the present, and detachment from clutter. The architecture becomes a daily reminder that true luxury isn't in possession, but in presence. Every line reflects a way of life centered on calm, focus, and intention. Sustainability is subtly woven into the home's DNA. Passive cooling, natural ventilation, and eco-conscious materials reduce environmental impact. In minimalism, efficiency is elegance, a philosophy that proves responsible living can be both luxurious and beautiful. As evening falls, the house transforms once more. Warm lighting glows softly through linear slits and glass walls, creating a dreamlike aura. Shadows become art, and the architecture feels alive in a new dimension. Night reveals a quiet, intimate luxury that only simplicity can achieve. This home does more than impress visually, it evokes emotion. You don't just see its lines, you feel them. Every proportion, every material, and every light source works together to create a mood of peace and contentment. It's architecture that speaks directly to the soul. Minimalist luxury transcends trends. 10 years from now, this home will remain as striking as it is today. Its design is timeless because it's built on universal principles: balance, proportion, and harmony. Beauty in every line ensures it will never fade from relevance. end, this minimalist luxury home is not just a structure, it's an experience. It shows us that beauty doesn't need excess, that luxury can exist in silence, and that true design is about feeling, not display. Here, every line tells a story, the story of beauty refined to its essence.